The knock came at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. Two sharp raps that made my heart stop because nobody visits that early unless something's wrong. Child Protective Services, the woman announced through the door. We need to speak with Ms. Diana Foster. My coffee mug slipped from my hand, shattering on the kitchen floor. My daughters, 7-year-old Lily and 5-year-old Rose, looked up from their breakfast with wide eyes. Mommy, Lily whispered. It's okay, sweethearts. Finish your eggs. I'll be right back. I opened the door to find two people in professional attire, holding clipboards and wearing serious expressions. Ms. Foster? I'm Sarah Martinez from CPS. We received a report of severe neglect and need to investigate the welfare of your children. A report? From who? She glanced at her clipboard. The report indicates inadequate housing, lack of proper nutrition, and general neglect due to poverty. May we come in? My hands shook as I stepped aside. I knew who'd made the report before she even confirmed it. Only 2 people had been to my apartment recently. Only 2 people constantly criticized how I was raising my girls. My parents. The report was filed by Margaret and William Foster. Sarah confirmed as she surveyed my small but spotless living room. Your parents. The words hit like a physical blow. They'd actually done it. After months of threats, they'd called CPS on their own daughter. We're saving your kids from your failure, Mom had said last week when she'd visited. They deserve better than a loser mother who can't even afford a proper house. I'm not a failure, I'd told her. I work 2 jobs. We have food, shelter, love. You live in a 1-bedroom apartment. The girls share a bed. That's neglect. That's poverty, I'd corrected. There's a difference. Dad had backed her up, as always. They deserve better than this. Better than you. Now, watching the CPS workers examine my home, I felt my chest tighten. Everything I'd worked for, everything I'd sacrificed, reduced to a report of neglect because I couldn't afford luxury. May I see where the children sleep? Sarah asked gently. I led them to the bedroom where Lily and Rose shared a full-size bed. Their stuffed animals were arranged carefully on the pillows. Their clothes hung neatly in the small closet, organized by size and color. The fairy lights I'd strung around the room gave it a magical glow. They share because they wanna, I explained. They have nightmares when I try to separate them. Sarah made notes. Her partner, a younger man named James, took photos. What about food? Sarah asked. I opened my kitchen cabinets. They weren't full, but they weren't empty. Rice, beans, pasta, canned vegetables, peanut butter. The freezer held chicken bought on sale, frozen vegetables, homemade soup portions I'd prepared on Sunday. I meal prep, I explained. Every Sunday. It stretches the budget. More notes. More photos. Mom. Rose appeared in the doorway, clutching her favorite bear. Are we in trouble? No, sweetheart. These people just want to make sure you're okay. Sarah knelt down. Hi, Rose. That's a nice bear. What's his name? Mr. Buttons. Mommy fixed him when his eye fell off. She fixes everything. Does she? What else does Mommy fix? Rose brightened. Everything. She fixed Lily's bike from the garbage. And our dollhouse from the yard sale. And she makes our clothes prettier with patches when they get holes. I see. And what's your favorite food that Mommy makes? Imagination soup. Rose giggled. That's when Mommy makes soup, and we pretend we're in different places. Like yesterday, we were underwater mermaids eating seaweed stew. Sarah smiled, but I saw her write something down. My heart sank. Even our games sounded like poverty. They interviewed both girls separately while I waited in the kitchen, my hands wrapped around a mug of cold coffee. I could hear Lily's serious voice explaining our routine. Homework first, then 1 hour of educational TV, then reading together, then bed at 8:30. Mommy reads to us every night, she said. Even when she's really tired from work. She does voices for all the characters. And what about when you're sick? Sarah asked. Mommy stays home. She says we're more important than money. Her boss gets mad sometimes, but she stays anyway. After an hour, they were done with the house inspection. Sarah's face was unreadable. Ms. Foster, I need to ask you some direct questions. How many jobs do you currently work? 2. I clean offices at night and work at a daycare during school hours. Combined income? About $2,800 a month after taxes. Rent? $900. I know it's a lot for a 1-bedroom, but it's in a safe neighborhood with good schools. Any child support? No. Their father disappeared when I was pregnant with Rose. No forwarding address. Government assistance? Food stamps, $250 a month. Medicaid for the girls. I don't qualify for housing assistance yet. I'm number 847 on the waiting list. She wrote it all down. Your parents claim you spend money on yourself instead of the children. Any response? I almost laughed. I haven't bought myself new clothes in 3 years. I cut my own hair. My phone is 6 years old. Every penny goes to rent, utilities, food, and the girls. They also claim the children are malnourished. Their pediatrician would disagree. They're both perfectly healthy. I have their records if you'd like to see them. I would. I retrieved the folder I kept with all their medical information. Up-to-date vaccines. Normal growth charts. No signs of malnutrition or neglect. Glowing notes from their doctor about their development. Sarah studied everything carefully. One more thing. Your parents claim you're involved in illegal activities to make ends meet. What? The accusation was so absurd I couldn't even be angry. Like what? They weren't specific. Just said you had suspicious income. You mean the $50 a week I make tutoring my neighbor's kid in math? Or the $30 I got last month for hemming Mrs. Chen's curtains? Yes, I take any legal side job I can find. That's not suspicious. That's survival. I understand. Now, I have to ask, why do you think your parents made this report? I took a deep breath. This was the part that hurt the most. Because I said no. No to what? They wanted me to sign over custody. They said the girls would have a better life with them. Private schools, their own rooms, vacations. All the things I can't give them. And you refused? Of course I refused. They're my children. I love them. We may not have much, but we have each other. They indicated you were being selfish. They said I was being proud. That I was choosing my ego over my children's well-being. My voice cracked. Maybe I am proud, but not of my ego. I'm proud that my girls know they're loved. Proud that they're kind and grateful and smart. Proud that they share willingly and help others who have less. That's not something money can buy. Sarah nodded and made more notes. Ms. Foster, I need to interview your parents as well. It's standard procedure when they're the reporting party. Can you give me their address? I wrote it down with shaking hands. My parents lived in a gated community 40 minutes away. The house I'd grown up in, 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a pool. The house they'd offered to my girls if I'd just admit I was a failure and give up. Thank you, Sarah said. We'll be in touch within 48 hours. After they left, I sank to the floor and cried. Not gentle tears, ugly, body-shaking sobs that I'd been holding in for months. My girls found me there and wrapped their small arms around me. Don't cry, Mommy, Rose whispered. You're the best mommy ever. Even though we don't have a big house? I asked. Our house is big enough for love, Lily said solemnly. You told us that. And love doesn't need much room, Rose added. Just hearts. I held them tighter. How did I get so lucky? You worked hard, Lily said, practical as always. Lucky is when you work hard and good things happen. 2 days later, Sarah called. Ms. Foster, I'd like to meet with you this afternoon. Can you come to my office? My stomach dropped. Are you taking my girls? Just come to the office. 2 p.m. I arranged childcare with my neighbor, the one whose kid I tutored, and drove to the CPS office with trembling hands. Sarah was waiting with a thick file and an expression I couldn't read. Please sit, she said. I want to start by saying your home visit was one of the most positive I've conducted. Your daughters are clearly loved, well cared for, and thriving despite financial hardship. Relief flooded through me so fast I felt dizzy. However, she continued, the visit to your parents' home revealed some concerning things. She opened the file and pulled out photos. My childhood home, exactly as I remembered it. Except, this is their pool, she said, showing me a photo. Note the lack of fence. That's a code violation and extremely dangerous. This is their kitchen, beautiful, but we found expired food in the refrigerator dating back 3 years. This is the room they said would be Lily's. She showed me a photo of my old bedroom. It had been converted to a storage room, boxes piled to the ceiling. They insisted the girls would live in luxury, but they haven't actually prepared anything for them. No toys, no clothes, no beds. Just promises. She pulled out more papers. More concerning is what we found when we investigated their claims about you. They said you work in inappropriate jobs. We verified you clean offices and work at a licensed daycare. They said you neglect the girls' education. We found you volunteer at their school library every Friday despite working 2 jobs. How did you? Their teachers were very eager to defend you. Apparently, you're the only parent who never misses a parent-teacher conference. You also hand-make educational materials when the school can't afford them. She showed me another document. This is particularly interesting. Your parents claim you're financially irresponsible, but we found you have perfect payment history on all bills despite your limited income. No debt except student loans, which you pay faithfully. You even have a small savings account for the girl's future. $347, I said. It's not much, but it's $347 more than many parents save. Ms. Foster, I need to be direct. Your parents didn't report you out of concern for your children. They reported you as manipulation. They thought if CPS threatened to remove the girls, you'd cave and give them custody. They said that, not in those words. But when I informed them the girls were in no danger and the case would be closed, your mother said, "Then how will Diana learn she can't do this alone?" My heart broke a little more. They've never thought I was good enough. When I got pregnant in college, they said I'd ruined my life. When Alex left, they said it proved I was unlovable. When I refused their money with strings attached, they said I was prideful. What strings? Give up the girls. Or move back home and let them raise the girls while I worked to fix my life. They never wanted to help me succeed. They wanted me to fail so they could sweep in and save the day. Sarah leaned forward. Ms. Foster, what your parents did, filing a false report, is a crime. You could press charges. I don't know if I can do that. You don't have to decide now. But I want you to know you have options. More importantly, I'm recommending several resources for you. She handed me a packet. There's a program that helps single mothers with housing costs. Another that provides childcare vouchers, so you might be able to work one job instead of two. A food bank that delivers to working parents. And a lawyer who does pro bono work for custody cases, in case your parents try another approach. I stared at the papers through tears. Why are you helping me? Because you're not a failure, Ms. Foster. You're a mother doing everything possible for her children. The system should support parents like you, not punish them for being poor. She stood up. The case is closed. Unfounded. I'll be sending your parents a letter explaining that false reports are prosecutable. And Ms. Foster? Your girls are lucky to have you. I drove home in a daze. My neighbor had picked up the girls from school, and they ran to me as soon as I walked in. Mommy, Mrs. Patterson taught us to make paper flowers. Look, they held up colorful creations made from tissue paper and pipe cleaners. Beautiful flowers that cost almost nothing, but were worth everything because they'd made them with love. They're perfect, I told them. Just like you. That night, after the girls were asleep, my phone rang. Mom, I hope you're happy, she spat. That social worker treated us like criminals. Photographing our home, questioning our motives. It was humiliating. You reported me to CPS. To help you. To make you see reason. To control me. To take my children. That's not help. That's cruelty. We could give them everything. You could give them things. I give them love. Love doesn't pay bills. No, but it builds character. It teaches resilience. It shows them that family isn't about money. It's about showing up. You're being selfish. I'm being their mother. And if you ever try to take them from me again, I'll press charges for false reporting. Sarah Martinez gave me the paperwork. Silence. Then Dad's voice. You'd send your own parents to jail? You tried to have my children taken. You told lies to destroy my family. You're not acting like parents. You're acting like enemies. We're trying to save those girls from poverty. They don't need saving. They need grandparents who love them as they are, not as props in your perfect family fantasy. Until you can do that, stay away from us. I hung up and blocked their numbers. It's been 6 months now. The resources Sarah provided have helped. We have a 2-bedroom apartment now, and I only work one job. The girls each have their own bed, though they still crawl in together most nights. My parents tried reaching out through relatives, sending messages about how they just wanted to help. I sent back one response. Help doesn't come with conditions. Love doesn't require surrender. They've seen the girls once at my cousin's wedding. Lily politely shook their hands. Rose hid behind me. They'd learned that family isn't always safe, that sometimes danger comes wearing familiar faces and offering poisoned gifts. Are we still poor? Lily asked me recently. Financially? Yes, I admitted. But we're rich in ways that matter more. Like how? Like how you share your lunch with kids who forget theirs. Like how Rose reads to the younger kids at the library. like how we dance in the kitchen while dinner cooks and tell stories in the dark when the power gets shut off. That's wealth, baby. The kind nobody can take away. She thought about this. I'd rather be rich like us than rich like Grandma. Why's that? Because, she said simply, we're happy. And we are. In our small apartment with secondhand furniture and clearance rack clothes. We're happier than I ever was in that big house with parents who measured love in dollar signs. They reported me for being poor. Said they were saving my kids from failure. Instead, they saved us from them. And that's the greatest gift they never meant to give.